Grandma's Medicare is stronger than ever. And if she was one of the millions of seniors who fell into the donut hole last year, she received a $250 check, or soon will, to help her afford her medications and a new 50% discount on brand new drugs. Finally, because it is absolutely true that we've got to get a handle on our deficits, that the debt we are carrying right now is unsustainable if we don't start taking action, it is important for us to be clear about the truth when it comes to healthcare reform. Healthcare reform is part of deficit reform. We know that healthcare costs, including programs like Medicare and Medicaid, are the biggest contributors to our long-term deficit. Nobody disputes this. And this law will slow these costs. That's part of the reason why nonpartisan economists, why the Congressional Budget Office has said that repealing this law would add $250 billion to our deficit over the next decade, and another $1 trillion to our deficit in the decade after that. They're not just making this up. And what's more, repeal would send middle-class premiums up, would force large employers to pay that extra $2,000 to $3,000 per worker, and shift control of your health care right back to the insurance companies. Now, I have repeatedly said I believe that our system of private insurance is strong and viable, and we need it to be. It saves lives. It employs large numbers of Americans. And by the way, it's still making pretty good profits. But just as we are a people who believe in the power of the individual, the promise of the free market, we are also a people who believe from the time of our founding that we aspire to protect one another from harm and exploitation. Our task has always been to seek the right balance between the dynamism of the marketplace, but also to make sure that it's serving people. Sometimes that means removing barriers to growth by lifting rules that place unnecessary burdens on business, but other times it means enacting common sense safeguards like these, like the Affordable Care Act, to ensure our American belief that hard work and responsibility should be rewarded by a sense of security and fair play. That's at the heart of this reform. That's why we fought so hard for this reform. That's why we have to keep on telling people across the country about the potential of this reform and what it means for them and their families. That's why we're not going to fall back. I don't want to tell students that we're booting them off their parents' coverage. I don't want to tell seniors that their medicine is out of reach again. I don't want to tell Janine her taxes are going back up, or Gail that she's got to choose between keeping her home and getting well. I don't want to tell Dawn or any other mother that their child can't get the care that he or she needs after all. I don't want that for America. I don't want that for our families. That's not who we are, and that's not what we stand for. We don't believe that people should We don't believe that people should have to hope against hope that they'll stay healthy, or hang all their fortunes on chance. We don't believe in a country like ours that 1 in 10, 1 in 8 of our citizens should be that vulnerable, no matter how hard they're working. We believe in something better. So the time for fighting the battles the last 2 years is now past. It's time to move forward. And these efforts, strengthening our families, getting our fiscal house in order, allowing small businesses to grow, allowing entrepreneurs to strike out on their own free from crushing costs, they're critical to our economic success. And by reforming our healthcare system so it doesn't dictate anybody's economic fate, America can decide its own. Now, as vital as this reform is, as committed as we are to getting our implementation right, to win the future in this new and changing world is going to require more from us, and I believe we're up to the task.